So the next speaker is going to be talking to us on designing for Web3, crafting useful products beyond DAOs, DeFi, and wallets, in person of Messi oluwatunminiu Kolapo. A round of applause for her, please. Thank you so much.
Do you have designers in the house? UI, UX, graphics, brand identity, fashion designer. Okay, so my name is Tumininu, and I'll be speaking briefly about crafting useful products beyond DAOs, DeFis, and wallets. So I have a friend who is a designer like me. I'm a product designer, by the way. So some years ago, we were having a conversation, and he has vowed with his life not to have anything doing with Web3. So I was asking him why, because it was a conversation, and he said he does not understand anything. Like, designers are supposed to be problem solvers. Our job is to translate complex problems into beautiful experiences for people. But now, the designer does not understand what Web3 is. I think it was around that time when there was this NFT marketplace thing. So it was so complicated for him. And I was not equipped enough to convince him or to continue the conversation. So it was just there. And this is a bigger problem. When designers who are supposed to be solution providers, they do not understand the problem. They cannot provide or translate the problem into a beautiful experience for users. So yeah, there's a complex UX problem of Web3, like the onboarding process, trying to onboard users or trying to design a flow that brings people, that onboard people that makes people use a product or a solution we are trying to provide, and also reconciling the transparency of blockchain with the privacy expectations. Sometimes it can be so difficult to communicate this to people like who are new to Web3. And this is our job as designers. It is our job as designers to make this communication as seamless as possible. And a way to do this is to design for everyday users. Like, a way to approach solving this problem is to design or build solutions for everyday users, what people want to use every day, beyond DeFis, beyond wallets. Because DeFis are cool, but what we have right now, they are like built for crypto nerds or people who are already familiar with Web3. But if we want to drive adoption and we want people to really understand what Web3 is, we need to consider designing for everyday users. We can bring in already existing solutions from Web2 and design it through a lens of Web3. So yeah, in order to drive adoption, we need to consider building products, more practical tools for everyday users. Is this working? Okay, so who is a Web3 designer? A Web3 designer is simply a designer who designs for Web3. It is as simple as that. We are bringing our skill set from wherever we are coming from, Web2. We are bringing that knowledge and we are using it to build useful products on Web3. So a Web3 designer helps translate complex blockchain tools into simple, helpful, and even delightful experiences. Sometimes, depending on your career trajectory, you may want to consider learning how to write code, but it is not very important. We just need to understand the basics in order to provide the solution, in order to build useful products for people. So our job is to craft human-first experiences for the blockchain while making it easy for everyday use. So that's our job as Web3 designers. Is this thing slow? Okay, so there are core principles of UX in Web3. These principles they are not new. It is not when Web3 appeared that they now invented a new UX or some core principles for Web3. These principles are what we are familiar with, like right from time, the normal laws, the normal UX laws, just that this time we are applying these laws, these principles that we already know. We are applying it in building products, useful products for Web3. So the first thing is to introduce the blockchain gradually. If we are designing for everyday users or we are building products and solutions for everyday users, we must assume that they don't know anything. We must assume that people who are going to use these products they are ignorant and they don't know anything. So we should introduce the blockchain, or we should introduce Web3 gradually to them. And the use of friendly language. We should, instead of saying verify your identity with a cryptographic signature, say click to confirm you are the owner of this profile. Like, this is just the basics. You need to communicate as clearly as possible. And we should use friendly language, a friendly language, like we're trying to communicate whatever we are trying to. So the next one is feedback loops and clarity. Always let users know what's happening. With tailored copies, we can use micro interactions, micro animations, just make them know what is happening. Then the next one is account abstraction and social login. I don't know if you've tried to use a Web3 product and you are thinking that you have no business connecting your wallet. Like, you're just thinking within you that why am I connecting my wallet? I just want to upload something quickly, and they are asking me to connect my wallet. And some products will even say, okay, you can only connect your agent wallet or your which other wallet, and which is okay, by the way, because of how the product is being built. But sometimes this can slow down onboarding. People may find it difficult if they are trying to install an extension or install a wallet in order to use your product. So what we can do is to use what people are familiar with. There's something called Web3 authentication. In fact, if connecting wallets is that important, they can do it later. Like, you can allow them experience what you've built for them, allow them experience the solution before telling them to connect wallets, or just use Google login, social login that people are familiar with, because we are trying to introduce Web3 to them gradually. So we should be open to consider these other options in order for us to also drive adoption and onboard people easily. So it is also one of the core principles of UX, like applying the already existing UX principles in Web3. So the next one is anchor trust. There are a lot of irreversible actions on the blockchain, especially. And we must be able to communicate this as clearly as possible, that this thing you're about to do, there's no going back. Once you've done it, that's the end. We should not be using dark UX or something that will make people run away from the solution we've built for them. So we should make sure to confirm irreversible actions, explain fees in plain terms, and the next one is mobile-first design. We should consider the fact that Africa is a mobile-first ecosystem, and a lot of people are going to access whatever solution you are providing for them through their mobile phones. So whatever solution we are designing or providing, it should be mobile responsive. So I already mentioned the Africa First advantage. Like, we can bring in already existing solutions, what people are already familiar with from Web 2. We bring it to Web 3 and design it like through the lens of Web 3, use and put something that will make people want to actually make use of the solution we are providing. So 2 years ago, during Config is Figma's annual conference. So Briancheski said something. He said, you can, and I quote, he said, you can design the world you want to live in. You don't need permission. Speak up, push your vision. If you are leading design, try to shape how the entire company thinks. Designers can run companies, they can build, they can ship. And during config this year, someone also mentioned it. I don't know who exactly, but I could see from people's stories that someone was encouraging designers to be founders. That since we understand problems, and our job basically is to translate problems into beautiful experiences, why don't we just take ownership? Like, we can ship products, right? So we can build products from scratch to launch. And this is me encouraging anyone who has any idea as a designer. Like, you can be a founder. You can build products, like real solutions for people. So if you are transitioning into Web3 as a designer, or you are just getting started, you might not even be a designer. There are, I wish I had a background knowledge of how to get started when I started. I think I started designing for Web3 4 years ago, and it has just been okay, learning from here. It was not easy. And here are some things that I have learned over years. The first one is to learn foundational concepts. And you can learn this from learnweb3.io. There are free courses online where you can really learn the basic thing. Like, you need to know what some of these terms are. You need to know the difference between gas and gas fee. If you are designing for DeFi, you need to know what smart contracts are. You need the background knowledge if you want to provide a solution, like for people using Web3 as a technology. So you need the basic knowledge. You need to have the basic knowledge. You need to learn the foundational concept of Web3. Then the second one is redesign a flow you use every day through a Web3 lens. It might not even be a flow you use every day. It might be something, maybe just an idea that you have in your head, and just redesign it through. This is you practicing, right? So then the next one is join Web3 communities. This one is very, 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 very important. There will be someone in a community who has walked the path you are about to, who will be willing to hold your hands through and guide you through. There will be someone within a community who will be willing to collaborate with you and explain things to you, things you will not just find and learn on your own. So it is very important for you to belong to Web3 communities, whether they are design-friendly or whether they are your career-friendly or not. You need to join Web3 communities, active ones, actually. Then collaborate with Web3 developers for hackathons and world-class projects. Some people also, they may lack, you may lack ideas, or you may not know what may actually fly, and a way to gain hands-on experience is by collaborating with developers. And most times you will find developers in communities. If you just go to your WhatsApp status to announce that, oh, you are looking for a developer to collaborate with, this, that, they will not answer you because everybody is looking for money. But if you belong to a community and maybe you have an idea and you need someone, or you need developers, or you need other people, because you are not the only one in a community, there are other people within the community who will have interest in whatever idea you have. So it is very important to join Web3 communities, active Web3 communities, because that is where you will find people who are of the same mind as you. So then use chain abstractions, social login tools, and progressive onboarding to simplify complexity. So make sure that as you are trying to provide the solution or whatever idea you are trying to implement, you are also keeping it in mind that we have an onboarding problem in Web3, and you are solving this problem as much as possible. Last month I took a course. It's a developer course, actually. It is not very design friendly, but because of my background, I used to write codes before I transitioned into design. It was quite easy for me. Like, it wasn't something so difficult for me. And I got reminded of how, as much as designers are trying to understand users, understand their pain points, and provide solution to those problems, we also need to consider the already existing solutions. We need to consider the workflows from developers. there are some things that we will not be able to change as designers. And if we come up with solutions, when we come up with solutions and we feel like this is the right thing, this is the absolute thing, it may not be compatible with the solution that the developers are providing. So taking this course made me know something that, as much as it reminded me of something that, as much as I am designing for people and providing solutions for people, I must also consider I'm seeing the solution from the end of the developer as well, like what is already available. And I'm working hand in hand to translate the solution and the problem or the pain point in order to come up with something that will work, something that will not give people problem. It will not give the users problem. It will not give the developers or the other people working on the solution problem. So yeah, I'm learning how to translate all of these things. I'm still learning how to translate all of these things into trust through copy, flow, and clarity. So the summary of all I've been saying since is the fact that Web3 adoption fails not for the lack of tech, but for the lack of human-centered designs. And we as designers are here to bridge that gap, to solve that problem. So designers are very important. Our job is to translate the tech, the solution, into trust and make people actually embrace the solution. So we should make sure to use the power of progressive disclosure, account abstraction, and friendly human language to communicate this solution to users. And we already have the ecosystem. Africa's real world patterns are the world's next Web3 opportunity. So we should start now and design something that works and something that does use, actually. It has to be beautiful and it has to work. So thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. A round of applause for her, please. Thank you.